reality of prophetic Israel as a re-elected people. Israel is the fruitful vine of Hosea 10:1. Vine is John 15:1. Jesus is the true vine. Isaiah 5:7 says the vineyard is the house of Israel. So true, Israel is a metaphor for the fruit of Jesus. Isaiah 14:1 choosing Israel again means building a new Eden. Text Isaiah 14:1 verse 2. The Lord will have compassion on Jacob, and will choose Israel again. And will choose Israel again, and will set them in their own land. And he that is a stranger shall be joined to the house of Jacob, shall be joined to them, and shall be united with them. And the nations shall take them, and they shall return to their own land. And the house of Israel shall obtain them out of the land of the Lord, and shall make them slaves, and shall take captive Zarephath, which formerly held them captive, and take away their titles over them. Israel historically. Israel is a republic in Palestine and southwestern Asia and is the only country on earth founded by Jews, located on the Mediterranean Sea, and surrounded by the Arab empires of Lebanon to the north, Syria to the east, and Egypt to the south. It is a small country with an area of 21.946 kilometers to and a population of only 9.17 million as of 1992. However, its strong national spirit has never allowed it to win a war against its Arab neighbors. It is no exaggeration to say that the Bible is centered on the history of Israel. Israel is the new name of Jacob, the grandson of Abraham, who fought with an angel to break his hip bone when he was forced to cross the Nile River in search of his brother Esau. The historical background of the kingdom of Israel is that the Hebrew people, who followed Moses out of Egypt, became a people with a strong spirit through 40 years of wilderness life before entering the land of Canaan, and followed Moses' successor Joshua to settle in the land of Syrian Palestine, Canaan, and form a national group on the one God, Yahweh. These Israelite tribes formed a national grouping centered around their faith, and in the late 11th century BCE, spurred on by the Philistine invasion, Saul, the son of a prominent Benjaminite, Gidel, by Samuel the Shalakite, a religious leader and prophet, was anointed and consecrated as the first king of Israel 1004 BC. Fought a bitter battle with David and sinned against God, losing the battle to the Philistines and committing suicide after the deaths of Saul's 3 sons. After that, the kingship continued to David and Solomon sinned. So in the time of Solomon's son Jeroboam rebelled and established the kingdom of Israel centered on Samaria with 10 tribes except the tribes of Judah and Benjamin. And Rehoboam, Solomon's son, established kingship over only one tribe, Judah. So it became the nation of Judah centered on Jerusalem. The northern kingdom established by Jeroboam was economically and culturally richer than the southern kingdom, but religiously, it gradually intensified the planting of idols of Baal against God, and after 200 years and 8 revolutions, it became the king of Assyria in 21 BC during the time of Hosea, the 19th and last king of Israel. Under Hosea, the 19th king of Israel, this was in the 6th year of Hezekiah, the 12th king of Judah. The southern kingdom of Judah, on the other hand, survived the death of the vice-kingdom for another 130 years and changed kings a number of times. Internal affairs between 2 powers, Assyria and Akkad, Egypt. After exhausting all its diplomatic efforts, it was defeated by the Babylonian king Nebuchadnezzar in the 10th year of Zedekiah, the 19th king of Judah, around 58 BC, and all its officials and upper class were taken to Babylon. After 70 years of captivity in Babylon, Judah was freed when Cyrus, king of Babylon, issued a decree allowing Israel to return to Jerusalem by Zerubbabel, Ezra, Nehemiah, and other prophets. the Israelites returned from Babylon and began to build the temple again. And although they were hampered by the Samaritans, Zerubbabel's initiative led to the construction of the house of God. Next 400 years, God gave no special prophet to Israel, except Abijah, Eliakim, Ezar-Zadok, Akim, Eliab, Eleazar, Maziah, Jahaziel. Through Joseph, Christ came as a light into a dark world. The history of Israel is a history of blood, and since David they have been the sons of iniquity, who have not ceased to serve idols. Therefore, although in name they were the elect of God and descendants of Abraham, in spirit they were the unforgivable serpents and vipers. Matt 23:32, John 8:44. Israel, which crucified Jesus, was further cursed and wandered without a country for nearly 2,000 years, until the end of World War II, when it finally gained a country and came to this day. How can such an Israel be called the chosen people and the true Israel? Even today, 2,000 years later, do not recognize Jesus as the Christ. Therefore, it is inevitable that God will re-establish Israel. Isaiah 14:1, reality of prophetic Israel's re-establishment. Isaiah 51:3, the Lord will have compassion on Jacob, and will bring Israel again, set her in her own land. And he that is a stranger shall be joined to the house of Jacob, and shall be united with them. And the nations shall take them, and they shall return to their own land. The house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord, and shall make them their servants. And they shall take captivity of him that captivated them, and shall rule over him that oppressed them. As prophesied by Isaiah, the Lord dealt with Israel again and cut them off from their land for periods of time. Gototi refers to the old land of the west given by God. But where is the old land? It was Eden. When God chooses Israel again, it means to establish a new Eden. Those days the nations will become servants and come and serve in Israel, which he has chosen again. For I, the Lord, have comforted Zion, I have comforted all her desolate places, and have made her wilderness like Eden, and her desert like the garden of the Lord. Amidst of them shall be the sound of joy and gladness, of thanksgiving and singing. What is this but the sum of the creation of the new Eden, as it is written, that the desert and the wilderness of Gango shall be like Eden, and the desert like the garden of the Lord, and that there shall be joy and gladness and thanksgiving and a shouting for joy in the midst thereof. And how shall the new Eden be a paradise on earth? And this is the prophecy of Gad, that God shall make a new faith Israel, when he shall have chosen them again. Isaiah 27:6. The word that is written also speaks of a new Israel. It is said that the root of Jacob shall be planted, and the shoot, bud, net, Israel shall spring up. And the shoot that shall come forth from Israel shall be a new shoot, that is, the new Israel. It was said that they would fill the earth with their fruit. So this is the prophecy of the filling of the whole world with the new Israel. The literal Israel, the Israel that crucified Jesus, cannot fill the earth with their fruit. Isn't there only 5 million people out of 5.5 billion people in the world? Can they fill the earth with their fruits? Verse is a metaphor for when the spiritual new Israel is born. It will fill the earth with its fruits, and the new Israel will form the kingdom of Christ, which will rule the world. G 11:15. So how will the new Israel, the elect Israel, be fulfilled? Hosea 10:1. Isaiah 5:7. In the latter days, the root of Jacob shall be planted, and the bud of Israel shall sprout and blossom. They shall fill the earth with their fruit. John 15:1. Israel is a fruitful vine, which bringeth forth fruit. Her fruit is, the more she maketh altars. And the more her land is beautiful, the more she maketh thee beautiful. The written word likens sinning Israel to a luxuriant vine. The vineyard is likened to the house of Israel. These words were prophesied about this generation today. Isaiah 5:7. The vineyard of the Lord of hosts is the house of Israel, and the tree of his delight is Judah. Jesus, and the true vine, and my Father is the vine dresser. And he said, Israel is a fruitful vine, and the vineyard is of the house of Israel. True Israel is a metaphor for the fruit of Esau. Therefore, the Jews are all members of the vine. The true grapes should be on the vine, but Isaiah's prophecy speaks of wild grapes on the persimmon vine. Isaiah 5:1-2, Jeremiah 2:21. I will sing for my beloved. I will sing of the vineyard of my beloved. For my beloved hath a vineyard, a very fat mountain. He hath dug it up, and removed the stones, and planted it with vines of the finest wines, of which he hath built a house, and sold wine therein. And the servant hoped that it would bring forth grapes, and it brought forth wild grapes. Luke 18:8. I have planted thee as a pure and true seed, precious vine. How is it that thou hast become an evil branch of the Gentile vine against me? Just as many prophets were sent in the days of the Old Testament to dig up the earth and remove the stones, as written, to make it a good land for Jesus, and to plant Jesus, the best kind of vine, the true seed of God, the good vine on the earth. But the true grapes did not bear fruit, but the wild grapes did. So today there are 18 parables of the fruit of Jesus on the earth. But the fruit of the true vine is not good, but the wild grapes fill the earth. Therefore, the Lord knew that this would happen, and made the following prophecy. Say unto you, I will forgive the debt, and will loose the grudge. But when the Son of Man cometh, shall he find faith in the world? What is it written? Today there are many believers in Jesus on this pang, but when the Son of Man, Jesus, comes, shall the world see faith? It is not all those who are pushing Jesus now, but Jesus himself, proving that they are the ones. Therefore, they are not the newness, the shoots that came from Israel, just as God says that texture Israel, and he only writes that the newness bud of Israel will sprout and sleeps among with the fruits of good fruit. So the mission of the new bud of Israel, Jesus' fruit, will be fulfilled by the half-man. And when he fills the earth with his fruits, the earthly paradise of the new Eden will be built, and the sum of the righteous, Romans 5:19, will be filled on the earth to Jesus, the true vine, described in part T above. The parables that are prophetic of Israel will be fulfilled in the reality of the new Eden. The parable and reality of Israel's captivity and return. The captivity of Israel and Judah to Babylon foreshadow that the fruit of the vine of spiritual Israel, Jesus Hosea 10:1, would be the grapes of the captivity of Babylon in the last days. Although the physical nation of Babylon does not exist in this generation, the Bible prophesies through the book of Revelation that spiritual Babylon exists as a dwelling place for demons. Revelation 18:1-3. After these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was illumined with his glory. And he cried with a mighty voice, saying, Fallen, fallen is Babylon the great, the habitation of devils, and the habitation of unclean spirits, and a habitation of every kind of unclean and abominable fowl. Wine of the wrath of her fornication. The nations are fallen, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the princes of the earth have been made proud by the power of her luxury. Revelation 18:10, Revelation 18:13, Micah 4, Old Babylon, and Gan, which was prophesied, and Gan, habitation of the devil, where all manner of unclean spirits were gathered together. Zechariah 4:7, and he said, I have done it. Isaiah 41:1-5. The worship of the idols of Yingzi is a fashionable sin, and is a foreshadowing of what those who are in position of power and power at once aspire to. Their goods are gold and silver, precious stones, and all manner of fine things, but they are clothed in sheep's clothing. These are religious deceivers, snakes and vipers, who buy and sell the souls of dead men, the captivity of old Israel in Baman Gate, and the captivity of all the warehouses of Jesus of Nazareth, and the captivity of those who became fines in the pit of demons, and the captivity of Zerubbabel, and the captivity of Ezra, Nehemiah the prophets, who were chosen to be saved, and the barren, who came up out of Babel, and kept the house of God in the midst of darkness, and in the latter days of Gan, the dwelling place of demons. And the people of God, that captivity in the valley of Babel, and the messengers of Zebedee, and the remnant of them, and returned to Jerusalem, and kept the house of God, which had 7 lamps of pure gold and bronze. And he said, Thou great mountain, whatsoever thou art, thou shalt be a plain before Zerubbabel. And when he casteth down the headstone, the multitude shall cry, Grace be unto him. Behold, I will make thee a new threshing floor, sharp in teeth, and thou shalt make the mountains to stand, and shalt make them to be crumbs, and the little hills to be as chaff. Acts 4:11. The great mountains and the intervening religious organizations will become plains. The house is built after a mountain has been cut down to make a plain. So Zerubbabel's work of cutting down a mountain to make up a plain will reform, and enlighten and pacify religion today, and on the plain will be built Zerubbabel's temple in the midst of the flock where Jesus the marble will sit. Isaiah 4:9-10, Amos 7:7, Zechariah 3:9. In the days of the written word, and of the brief spiritual Zerubbabel, when Jesus, the headstone, was laid down and vaporized. Revelation 11:15. The hand of Zerubbabel hath laid the foundation of the former place, and his hand shall also finish it. And he saith, Thou shalt know that the Lord of hosts hath sent me unto you, who despiseth the day of a small work. One is the eye of the Lord, which goeth throughout all the world. And he shall rejoice to see that the cord of the iron is in the hand of Zerubbabel. And the hand of Zerubbabel shall receive in his hand the measuring cord which God had kept and posted, to lay up the former place, and to finish it. And the work of the 7 eyes of one stone shall be engraved together, and the iniquity of the land shall be written one day. And the new Israel, the kingdom of spiritual Israel, the kingdom of Christ, shall be sanctified on the earth. In this way, the Holy Book foretold future events by analogizing to historical photographs. Therefore, every person who hears, understands, and keeps the words of prophecy will receive the great blessed salvation recorded in the Bible. May you be blessed as the protagonists of Sehun Israel who are chosen again. Name of Jesus. Amen.